When you shift your focus from what is absent to what is present, from what is missing to what has been given, from what you are not to who you are, from the ravages of linear time to the immediacy of now, you are reconnecting with love, truth, and beauty, and abundance is yours effortlessly. Jeff Foster. When you shift your focus from what is absent to what is present, from what is missing to what you have been given, from what you are not to who you are, from the ravages of linear time to the immediacy of now, you are reconnecting with love, truth, and beauty, and abundance is yours effortlessly. Good morning, dear Dharma friends. In case there's any newcomers, my name is Robert Beatty. I'm coming to you from Portland, Oregon. Actually, just a little west of Portland, Beaverton. And this is a broadcast of the Portland Insight Meditation Community. Marvelous website at portlandinsight.org. And my website is robertbeatty.com. Very useful things to make use of, to bask in both of those places. This is a manifestation of the teachings of the Buddha from the Theravada tradition, the school of the elders. Which is extant really now all over the world, but has been the tradition, the high voltage lines have been transmitting this wisdom teaching down through the millennia in particularly Burma, Thailand, and Sri Lanka. Used to be more in Cambodia, but the Cambodian catastrophe happened there, and they went out of their way to kill the monks and nuns. So, coming into now in the riches of what we have, breathing, sitting, hearing, a heartbeat. It's so good when things work. I have something called restless leg syndrome. I've had it since my 20s. I was diagnosed in my early 50s, so it would be 20 years ago. Every now and then, like last night, for reasons unknown, the medication doesn't quite work. And so one can get this creepy, crawly, weird, unpleasant, painful in a way, physical sensations. So mostly in the legs. Last night I had restless left arm. So I was up late. Plenty of opportunity to practice disliking. No freaking out, though. That's nice. I've gotten used to it over the years. So, gratitude that's not here right now. Gratitude that everything's working as well as it is. And concern for everybody who's really sick right now. Our COVID cases in this country have gone through the roof. More than 2,000 deaths a day now. So let's hold in our hearts people who are suffering mightily in whatever way. The human condition. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya. Well, his mind is insane. Well, it's a dirty job, but somebody has to do it. Let's sit. Let's face up to whatever the heck is going on in here and see if we can do a little house cleaning and discover how the cobwebs have built up overnight. Let's clarify our intention. I aspire to love and accept myself exactly as I am in this moment. What a beautiful aspiration. It can be said so many ways. I aspire to be alive right here and now. I aspire to quit fighting, fighting with reality. May my life become one great sigh of gratitude. May I remember my profound, inescapable interconnection with all beings. And so I sit with the intention of cultivating mindfulness, of resting back into the mysterious awareness which is of the universe, not mine. And as humans have done for at least 2,600 years. As they say, placing mindfulness before us. We undertake mindfulness of breathing in and breathing out. To be clear about our intention, to the best of my ability, with no violence, no coercion. My intention is to keep awareness rooted in the sensations of breathing in and out. This intention allows us to know when a few moments later it's not being fulfilled, when instead of being with the breath, we're lost in the past or future, or sleepy dullness, desire or aversion, doubt, fear, loneliness. It's very much like when one is using a compass to stay on course through thick forest. Deciding this is the heading I want to follow. This is my course. I may get blown off course. I may have to go around some big obstacles. I may have to go through big obstacles. But the course is clear. the Course is awakening. It's mindfulness and curiosity. It's bearing with and relinquishing the attachment to the hindrances. With a good compass, it doesn't matter how thick the fog gets, how heavy the pack is. At any moment, one can look down at the compass and realize, oh, I'm off course. How interesting. Now I won't take one more step in the wrong direction. And so we sit and observe the body breathing. We observe its thoughts. Or the thoughts, more accurately. Each breath has a beginning. Each thought has a lifetime. No matter what your inner experience is, it's possible to be aware of it. Mindfulness is bigger than confusion, despair, depression, giddiness, excitement, fear. Mindfulness inhabits the space in which everything happens. Time and again, we reaffirm our commitment I take refuge in the Buddha, in being awake. This very intention somehow potentiates mindfulness. I intend to face into whatever arises in such a way that there's room for everything. That I won't instinctively fight against the unpleasant and attach and cling unconsciously to the pleasant. In the words of the great Thai forest master, Ajahn Chah, to bring your practice into perfect balance at any moment, simply remember, it's like this. This moment is like this. Perhaps a moment of great clarity, where minute experiences of sound or thought or body sensation are brightly lit up. Perhaps it's just dull and sleepy and sloth and torporish. Perfect practice to realize this is sloth and torpor. Perhaps the mind is taken on a vindictive fantasy, maybe into more anger and violence in your imagination than you knew were inside. It's like this. Or maybe everything opens up and all you can see is love. All you can feel is love. In the life of a great saint in India, Ramana Maharshi, when he was 9 or 12 years old, he was walking down the street and he saw a woman breastfeeding. And he said in later years, all he could see was God pouring love into God. Now, in the Buddhist world, the God word isn't used much at all. So life flowing into life. And so here we sit as the oxygen of the trees fills our lungs, as the oxygen of the Amazon rainforests fill our lungs. As our hearts beat. Awake to the beginning of this breath. Awake to its expansion, to its coming to fullness, to its decline, to its vanishing. To the space of quiet and ease that occurs between breaths. Please invite a little smile to occur on your face. Maybe really tiny. Embrace the fullness of life. It's right here, right now. Embrace your capacity to love. Even to love the doubt of your capacity to love. To embrace the capacity of compassion. To be with whatever's hurting. To be with in yourself and in the world whatever suffering there is. And there's plenty of suffering. And sometimes we live in the idea that if we were to develop love for all beings or for others in general, it would start here, somewhere behind the eyes or somewhere in the heart. What if we used other words completely? Lie back in the arms of love. Rest back in that space of being that you've been existing in forever. Rest back and feel your interbeing with the great redwood trees. With the great forests of kelp. With the whales in their long migrations north and south each year. Feel yourself as a hummingbird. As a colony of ants. Rest back in such a way that you make no effort. Just remembering, putting all your parts back on. Notice perhaps that little smile that might remain. And we could set an intention for the rest of the day. I intend to be awake and loving. There may be something difficult coming today. Why not face it with curiosity? Make room for any fear there is, any confidence. Lie back in the arms of love. And now, please notice the mysterious and remarkable aliveness, which is, for now, your body. And allowing awareness to inhabit all the little corners from the tips of the toes to the top of the head. And coming into the region of the face, and the eyes. Letting the eyes roll about a little in their beautiful lubricated sockets. And now forming the intention, observing how it occurs, to let the eyes open and then operationalizing that, saying yes. And then noticing the effort involved. And the remarkable mystery of objects as they appear. They seem to be out there. Are they? Or is everything really inside? Seeing. I'll investigate what's going on with the chat today. Not an intentional setting of it that way. I think the announcement I'd like to make this morning is a letter that I finished off last night. It's now with Molly, Balin, Gregory's wife, and it'll go out. You'll if you're on any of our communication channels, you'll receive it. PIMC Sangha Update, December 2020. As we come to the end of an unusual and unusually challenging year, the board and staff of PIMC want to offer an update on the number of projects that have been happening in our community over the last 9 months. Our community during COVID. When we shut down our in-person gatherings in March, we never expected the response we've seen to our online programs. From classes to weekly sits, small groups to weekend retreats, more people than ever are part of PIMC, including people from around the world. We'll continue to meet online while the limit on public indoor gathering continues. Oh, and after. That's a mistake. For more information, check out the weekly digest or our website to learn more, and maybe try a different gathering to reinvigorate your practice. What started as a ramp project, In 2018, our community raised funds, $47,000, to add a wheelchair ramp to our building. In applying for the building permits for that ramp, it was discovered that the offices in the basement were never properly permitted. With that, the proverbial can of worms was opened, as updating the building will also require us to add seismic improvements. We've created a plan that is currently awaiting approval from the city to do two things. Phase 1, complete the ADA updates, Americans with Disability Act updates, including the ramp and adapting one of the bathrooms to be accessible as well. Phase 2, bring the offices downstairs up to code. The offices are important to us. This is not in a letter. The offices, because they generate about $35,000 a year in rent, which is a very significant part of the budget process for us. We've also created a master plan that includes required seismic safety updates to the Dharma Hall and living room. We've asked the city for an extension of 5 years to complete those updates to give us time to find funding for the project. While the scope of the project has changed, the financial support also grew. We're deeply grateful to announce 2 large gifts to PIMC that, along with the money raised in 2018, will allow us to complete phases 1 and 2. The Ronald W. Nato, MD Foundation, and Ann Nato Campbell gave PIMC $500,000. These generous contributions, which can be used only for the major capital improvements, will allow us to proceed with the project as soon as the plans are approved by the city. Once we receive approval, phases 1 and 2 will be complete in about 2 months. Speaking of support, thank you to everyone who participated in our fall fundraising campaign. 45 people became new monthly donors, resulting in a monthly increase of $1,540. In addition, 20 current monthly donors increased their gifts by a total of $400. This will increase our operating revenues by $23,280 over the next year. This is a huge success. Those recurring gifts make it much easier for the board and staff to budget and make financial decisions. Together, we're building a community that is changing lives and inspiring change in individual hearts and in the world. With a great bow of gratitude, Robert and the board. And I will get a little teary talking of this. Ron Nato, of the Nato family. There's Nato Parkway in Portland. It's named after their family. Ron contracted or came down with pancreatic cancer. And he asked, he was a physician, very well-known physician and very generous man. His whole life was of service. So he asked a couple of the cancer docs up at OHSU, he said he wanted to die consciously. Who should he see? And they both referred him to me. And we had a year to get to know each other. During that year, he taught all over the place. And he endowed a chair, he endowed a position at OHSU. He did all kinds of generous acts. He gave them $1 million and said that there should be a physician whose role it is to create a program to teach physicians how to tell people when they're dying. Because his experience was that it was bad. That the physicians he talked to, not all, but they, rather than being direct and open and heartfelt, they were distant and cold and sort of disappeared. So there now is a position at OHSU for the training of doctors in how to talk about such things. A favorite book in our conversation, he was very much into the Dharma, but a favorite book was that Being Human book by Atul Gawande. If you've not read that, I highly recommend it. Teary. Anyway, I was with Ron. Through his death, I became part of their family, really. And he got the idea of what we're doing. And he heard me complaining about how no good deed goes unpunished. So we went to the city with our, yay, let's build a ramp. And they said, oh, by the way, you have a $1.3 million adventure ahead of you. So we're already tackling a piece of it, and we've got 5 more years, and we're working to solicit funding from foundations, and it's always worked out for PIMC, you know. At the beginning, Ruth Dennison gave us $330,000. And then we raised the rest among the community. We bought the building. We own it outright. The corporation owns it, the nonprofit. So we're building something with incredible stability, and that allows us to be stable in our practice and to really go deep. So once again, if you're at loose ends for what to do tomorrow, Cantle and Gary are teaching. Oh, good. The chat is working. Huh. Oh, Jim, did you fix it? Anyway.
The preference is under security. I don't know why it comes up as unable to load chat, but all you have to do is turn it on.
Okay, I'll make it. I'll see if I can make that a permanent change. Permanent. And I will be not teaching on Sunday. It will be Doyle Banks. And I start tomorrow morning at 9 to do a 2-day retreat. So teach a 2-day retreat. If you wanted to do that and you just didn't get up to registering, send me an email and we can make it happen. Robert@robertbeatty.com. So I want to leave a little space. What's happening? Do you have celebrations you'd like to talk about? Is there a birthday? Is there a question?
I have twin granddaughters, Robert, who
Yes.
are turning 16
Good
on
God.
December 17th. So my wife and I have set out to send them a gift every day in December. Since they can't have a party on the date, we're building up to it. So, there's lots of ways of celebrating.
Remind me their names, Jim.
Sage and Juniper.
That's right. I remember them at my wedding. They weren't 16.
They had big eyes looking at all these people dancing around.
I sat under a table with them. Cute.
They're just like their mother. They like to build a fort or go under a table or spy on the adults from a hidden place.
They were having a good time.
Robert?
Hello.
Hi, it's Vicki.
Hello,
Hi.
Vicki.
Hi. I wanted to say something. A few weeks ago, a week or two ago, I was on here because my daughter was having a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to thank everyone for their love and support during that time. And I had a couple people text me, which was wonderful. And I just want to let everyone know that she's doing better. She's enrolled in school for next semester.
Yay.
And she's just doing a lot better. And I think enrolling in school is a big deal too. So I just want to say thank you for the love and support, which I've just carried along with me these last few weeks. So thank you so much. And we're going to be getting a puppy too. So she'll be in charge of taking care of the puppy.
Lovely. Thank you, Vicki.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kisses to everyone. Oh, and just say that our dog now is 13, and that's why we're getting a puppy too, because he's just so old. He's probably not going to last another month or so. So we're not just getting a puppy for her, but we're getting a puppy because we need a dog too. We need one in our lives.
Mm-hmm. You know, the older dog will probably not thank you for getting a puppy. I remember getting a puppy, and the older dog was like, "Oh, God, leave me alone." But that's life.
Hi, Robert. This is Susanna.
Hello, Susanna.
Hi. Hello, Sangha.
Look at you in a with bare shoulders.
I know. Sorry to rub it in your face. So I'm celebrating the Sangha. I am, I haven't been able to come on to join you as much as I would like to because of just things are so different here. And, I think it's been a whole week since I checked in and sat with you. And just coming back was such a relief because even though I sit by myself, it's just not the same. And I'm really, really understanding the importance of taking refuge in the Sangha. It makes a big difference to me. I mean, life gets kind of overwhelming for me here a little bit. There's just so much input, so much dukkha all around, and much more than I experienced back in Portland. And it was just when I came today, it was just such a relief, and I was just so grateful. So I want to thank all of you and just let you know how grateful I am to be part and to have you in my life and to be a part of you. I mean, to all together, So thanks.
Thank you, Susanna. Jessica, I was at the center day before yesterday, and whoever pruned my hedge did an incredible job. It's so beautiful. So whoever that was, it looks like they used scissors to get it all just right. It was just gorgeous. So I was having lots of gratitude for the work that you and others have done on the grounds. And it looks like, by summer, early fall, we'll be back in, and that'll be really nice.
Thanks. Hello, it's Denise.
Hello, Denise.
I just had a moment of joy to share. Yesterday, I was in the kitchen, and just out of the blue, my son came running into the room and just started dancing. And there was no music going or anything. He just ran into the room and started dancing. And so I started dancing with him, and we're dancing, and I'm like, why are we dancing? And he's like, just because. And we danced for another minute, and then he ran away and went and did his own thing. And it was just really nice. And the other day, my 13-year-old stepson, however you want to call it, he has ADHD. It's like really intense a lot of the time. And a couple weeks ago, before he was going to bed, he was just out of the blue. Was like, I'm going to meditate for a couple minutes before I go to bed. And he just sat there on his own for 5 minutes and meditated, and then went to bed. It was just really, really great.
Thank you for that. Our kids really notice what we do. I can't remember how old my son was. Was he 9? I don't know. But we had modified our home, and I had a little meditation room. It's like dedicated for that purpose, built in. And it was really small. How big was it? I don't know. 6 feet wide and 10 feet deep, maybe, or 8 feet. Anyway, I was sitting nearby, and he had 2 friends with him, and he brought them through the house. And he was pointing out, this is our kitchen, and this is this and that. And he got to my little meditation room, and he said, "Oh, this is my dad's meditation room. My dad is really weird." But he was right. But they notice what we're doing. So that's so beautiful. They really notice what we're doing. It's kind of a little scary. They model themselves on us.
Robert, it's John.
Hello, John.
Speaking of modeling, I found myself making some, mistakes or gaffes in a client session, and I found myself laughing very much like you laugh when making mistakes and feeling that sense of modeling and being grateful for the mistakes you make and the grace that you give yourself. It's a great thing to witness.
Yay for you. Human again.
And another thing, there was a moment when you said in the meditation, is what occurring out there, really out there? And for a moment I was like, Robert is actually in mine. He belongs to me. It's in my mind.
Nice.
The character.
Yay. I bet I sound different now, do I? Oh, now it's back. I don't get it. The microphone just changed which one was on. I want to read that poem again I began with. It's such an encouraging poem. By Jeff Foster. When you shift your focus from what is absent to what is present, from what is missing to what you've been given, from what you are not to who you are, from the ravages of linear time to the immediacy of now, you are reconnecting with love, truth, and beauty, and abundance is yours effortlessly. Phew. Well, 8:10 Pacific time. Anybody sitting with anything you'd like to share?
Okay, I'll jump in.
It's Brian. Hello, Brian. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. So I definitely do have something to celebrate, and rereading that poem. I guess it is some abundance I'll share with the Sangha here. We closed on a house on Tuesday, and we get to move in next week, which is huge for us. It's been a journey no short of like 12 years at least, and it happened in these circumstances, right? It's really crazy. We put in an offer the Sunday before the election, right? One of the most sort of questionable times in our country's history, and it would take me a long time to sort of explain the set of circumstances that took place to make it happen, but it happened, and one key component in that is the sellers, whom I've never met, have no idea who they are, decided to go with us over an offer that was far more lucrative than ours for some reason. Like, we did include a photo of our family in a letter, and they decided that they wanted to go with us, even much to the shock and surprise of our real estate agent. So this whole thing, really just kind of came into existence, and it is abundance, and it's really, I get sort of humbled by the whole thing, I guess. And I do really feel that it kind of, I tried for a long time. We tried, and it just wasn't really happening for a number of reasons. But it is sort of, I do feel that there's that definition of dukkha that's like a wheel out of kilter, right, in your life. I do feel that, we were much more out of kilter than we are now, and this practice is a huge part of it, and things just sort of came into existence by being less out of kilter, at least right now, and it's huge for my family. And I was really hesitant to kind of share that right now, actually, because it is such a difficult time, obviously, for so many people, and there, quite likely are people on this call or people whom you're related to that, are really struggling with housing right now, and employment, and health possibly. So it feels kind of odd to celebrate that almost, there's like almost a sense of guilt with it, that trying to recognize and let go of, I guess. But it is, I don't know, it's huge for us. So that's my celebration for the day.
Yay. Brian,
Yes.
are you familiar with the Brahma Viharas, the abodes of the gods, the practices of loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Well, I'm having really a lot of sympathetic joy and delight in hearing your story.
Well,
And so why not celebrate moments when things are really coming together, and an aspiration of stability that you've had for a long time. So to take delight for you to take delight in your moments of success and happiness, and they're part of the wheel.
right.
I'm glad. How nice that part of the wheel exists, huh?
Yeah, man, for sure. Right now, it is kind of surreal, and I guess on another aspect of this is one day this too will pass, and I'll get to sit with a number of you in person much more frequently here,
Right.
in Portland, and very much looking forward to that.
Where's the house?
Northeast, like Concordia.
Near. Oh, cool. Great. Yay.
Thank you very much.
Sympathetic joy. hear a voice. Would you wave? Oh, there you are.
I'm on page 2, probably.
Gotcha.
I got here very late this morning. So I just wanted to share that for last few mornings, I've been really struggling to concentrate. And I've been like stomping off, being like, stupid lack of concentration. And so this morning when I sat down, I missed the poem. So I'm really glad that you read it again. But I got here in time to save the refuges. And something that you said right at the beginning of the meditation, I can't remember what it was, triggered something in me. And I decided, because like I always start my meditations with 11 things I'm grateful for, so I can write them on the wall. And so I was about to do that, but like the first thought that popped into my head was that I was grateful for my anxiety. And that would never have occurred to me because I have not been super grateful for my anxiety. I have generalized anxiety disorder that is untreated, and so I've actually spent the last couple of days in the middle of a mild panic attack for no particular reason. So I was like, well, I'm not grateful for my anxiety. That's stupid. But I decided to sit with it and like really think about like why I could be grateful for my anxiety. And I decided to do something that I don't usually do in meditation, which was like have a visualization. Because I have a visualization of my anxiety, and it's like this very dark sort of demon-like thing with a red mouth and sharp teeth. And so I visualized like literally sitting with my anxiety as we meditated together. And I was like concentrating, and then my mind started to do things. I was like, monkey mind, you get to be in here too. And so the monkey mind came and sat with us in meditation. And other animals came. We recently got a cat. The cat, he's not allowed up in here in the meditation room, but the cat came in my visualization and sat with us during meditation because he is a cause of anxiety. And so I had this whole menagerie of animals sitting with me in my head all meditation time. But it really helped. And the reason why I don't generally visualize is because I have a thing called maladaptive daydreaming, which I don't think it's actually maladaptive. I call it being a writer, but it's when you can daydream so hard that like you can just lose yourself in the daydream. And so when I first began meditation, I made the mistake of thinking that like I needed to put myself in that headspace, which is why I don't tend to do it while I'm meditating. But it actually really, really helped this morning, and it was all because you said something that made me think I needed to like think about being grateful for my anxiety. So that was my experience this morning.
Thank you, Tempest.
Thank you.
Hey, Robert, it's Russell.
Hey, Russ.
And just two things real quickly. First of all, Tempest, I love what you said about the daydreaming. I think I certainly do that, and I believe we all do. It's just that we don't necessarily notice that we're doing it. We confuse it with reality. But I wanted to say, Robert, what really struck me this morning was how I was grasping onto and hanging onto some very delightful thinking that was occurring while you were directing our meditation. I went off to some things and I thought, I'm not so sure the negative stuff is the most seductive for me. It's when I get into something I'm really enjoying. Boy, I hang on amazingly strongly. So thanks.
Yeah. Well, last call. Anybody sitting there with something? The talking object is available. spider just climbed onto me. Here, come on. Well, let's sing our way home, okay? I have a dog who wants his breakfast. Where's my breakfast? Ready? May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thanks all.
You all be well, everyone.
Yay.
Have a good retreat, Robert.
Thank you very much. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, David.
Bye, Robert. I'll see you tomorrow, Robert.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Let's hope the technology all works.
Bye, Robert.
Bye.
Goodbye, Jelly.
See you tomorrow.
Oh, good. Yes, let's meet at Hollyhock on the beach tomorrow. Come to gallery.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice.
Bye, Robert.
Bye-bye. See you soon. Thank you, Jim, for being here as stalwart as you are. Thanks for sharing, Tempest. See you tomorrow. I think, are you coming? Yeah, great. Hooray. All right, here I go. End meeting for all. 1, 2, 3, boom. Goodbye, dear friends on Facebook and YouTube. May you have a fine day.